I would like to brief the public about the latest attack on the independent media group. We've just had Mandela Day yesterday, which is the birthday of Madiba, our beloved Madiba, who was emphatic about the fundamentals of our new constitution. And those fundamentals are the right to have our democracy, the right to vote, freedom of association, freedom of trade, the right to have our dignity not violated, but importantly, media freedom. Over the last few years, we have seen a concentrated attack on the Second Jalo group, orchestrated, well-organized, well-focused attack on the group led by politicians. The key persons involved in this attack is the president himself, alongside his key minister, Pravin Gordhan. I have made the statement publicly many times that Gordhan is responsible for coordinating and instructing with the shadow state of his the attacks against the group, myself, and all of its stakeholders, including our employees. We have experienced incredible harassment from regulatory authorities, such as the JSC, such as, for example, the FSCA. We've experienced harassment, in particular, from the government officials themselves. Gordhan himself has gone public on numerous occasions and written statements to say that independent media should not be supported. Independent media is in fact anti-him and anti the current ANC government. This, of course, is complete rubbish. Gordhan has recently quoted in a book to say that independent media, and myself in particular, will pay the price for not actually towing the line or supporting him. Now, this is nothing but thuggery at the highest level. The use of a shadow state, the use of state institutions, the use of commissions in order to tarnish our reputation, in order to shut us down, in order to prevent the Second Jalo group from exercising its democratic right, its constitutional right to trade freely and to be able to invest in the media. We are the first black group in South Africa's history to outright own one of the large media houses, to manage it and to transform it, both in terms of its employment and in terms of its narrative. It is this bold decision of ours, which started in 2013, to in fact change the narrative of the country and to make sure that our people in the country are able to read all sides of the story and to understand the news and to understand the story behind the news. This is what we set out to do. Our company, Independent Media, has won numerous awards internationally, has been recognized for its pioneering journalism, for its innovation, and hence is the recipient of many awards at the International News Media Association and other media conferences. However, this has not been recognized by our government, by our president and Pravin Gordhan in particular, who have both together taken a hostile stance against independent media, against Second Jalo, and against myself. Their view is that the news should be sanitized to hide whatever irregularities, whatever incompetence, whatever mismanagement that they are currently doing. It is independent media that has in fact broken the story about the president having received R1 billion in funding from private donors for his election, not for the country but for the party. The money laundering that took place during that time, as well as additional scandals such as the PPE scandal, where tens of billions were stolen from government by many individuals that are close to the president. Over and above that, we have pointed out repeatedly the mismanagement of our electricity or energy producer, Eskom, which is under the direction of the Minister of Public Enterprises, Pravin Gordhan. Now, all of this has not gone down well with the powers that are in government today, and hence a coordinated campaign has been launched by them to destroy our group, tarnish our reputation. At the center of this campaign is Pravin Gordhan. We have it on good authority. Mr. Gordhan himself has personally, directly called CEOs of the banking companies, has called and used his network in the Reserve Bank, has used his network in other entities, and instructed them almost in a panicked manner, a hysterical manner, to shut down the accounts of Sekundjalo, to shut down independent media. Part of this anxiety, which for us is completely puzzling, is the ANC's elective conference in December. I say puzzling because we have no say, we have taken no sides. Our view is very simply, we must report on everyone fairly and accurately and give everyone the opportunity to have their say. Our editors, all 20 plus of them, sent a letter to the banks this very week, indicating to them that their actions are political, indicating that they are trying to shut down independent media. We have launched legal cases against the banks, but ultimately it is not the banks that are at issue here in terms of these accounts being shut down. The banks say we are not corrupt. They say we have never money laundered. They say that we do not partake in illicit transfers. They say this in writing. Yet they use the soft issue of reputation to say, because we have been in the media, in articles by our detractors, that they now can shut our accounts. They use absurdly media articles, and they even go so far as to say, we don't care whether those media articles are true or false, just the fact that you've been in the media. Of course, if you consider the fact that the banks themselves have been guilty of fraud, have been guilty of corruption, as has been shown by Judge Zondo in the Zondo Commission. If you consider the banks on oligopoly, if you consider that the banks currently bank companies that are involved, implicated, and have admitted to large-scale fraud in the country, then how can our company, our group, employing 8,500 people, 40,000 dependents, with revenues of 10 billion, with an absolutely impeccable track record over the last 20 years, have won many awards, how can we conceivably have an impact on the bank's reputation? It's all designed to shut us down. It is the tragedy of South Africa today that we are led by people like Ramaphosa and Pravin Gordhan that are running a mafia state. They are running a state where they have taken all of the security apparatus, intelligence apparatus into their offices. They're running parallel states, parallel governments, parallel intelligence operations, and more importantly, they've gone into an unholy alliance with members of the business community that were prominent during apartheid. What we are now seeing is an alliance between Ramaphosa, Pravin Gordhan on the political side and their proxies, and on the business side, those institutions that kept apartheid alive, those that were greedy, that exploited the country and its people during the apartheid years, those very institutions which shut down the opportunities for black people during apartheid, which refused to support black people, are today responsible, working hard to shut down the only black organization that is truly independent and is able to own and invest in the media. South Africans, we should not allow this kind of thuggery, this kind of abuse of power, both by the politicians of Ramaphosa and Pravin Gordhan and the banks. We have to stand up against them. We have to protect our democracy. We have to protect our hard-won freedom. I am quite certain they'll continue to use state institutions against us. They'll use regulatory bodies, other bodies. They'll continue to tarnish my reputation, the reputation of Second Jalo, and the reputation of independent media. But we stand firm, and I call on you as citizens of our country, as people that believe that our hard-won democracy and freedom of 1994, that which Nelson Mandela represented and sacrificed for, and others represented and sacrificed for, that we do not allow these thugs to take away our hard-won freedoms, in particular our media freedom. I thank you.